today I'm going to be talking to you about body dysmorphic disorder. I feel like I end up putting these cute little jingles in there, maybe at inappropriate times, but alas, we're going for it. My main concern was my legs. I didn't have a thigh gap. This was in thigh gap era. You get me? When thigh gaps were all the rage. Everyone wanted, needed a thigh gap. I'm surprised they don't have thigh gap surgery. I'm sure they do. It's called liposuction. Whenever I was a teenager, I would be obsessed with either finding a reflection to look in, or I would actively not look in it. I need it. I don't know, I try and put the food in my mouth and it just goes everywhere. It's outstanding. Like, I should have an award in it. We're only heating one room of the house now because money. British gas ripping us off. Oh, did I just say that? My curves. My curvy body. Because I've been ill and away. Ill and away. Sounds like home and away, but the new version. I'm still snotty. Where's it all coming from? My mucus glands are in overdrive. They're like pumping out the mucus. I feel like today we need to talk a bit about body dysmorphia, because yesterday I did an episode on my eating issues throughout my childhood and later teen/adolescence. But I talked very briefly about body dysmorphia, and I feel like I was like, it doesn't need a whole episode on its own. And then I was like, no, I think it does. I was pondering in bed last night and I was thinking about Instagram and I was thinking about the effects on people's mental health of Instagram. So that's what I think about when my head hits the pillow. It never stops. Soz. And today I just wanted to talk about body dysmorphic disorder or body dysmorphia. I thought that I had body dysmorphia, and I've actually just done some research. I mean, I'm not a what they call psychiatrist or psychologist, so like I do not profess myself to be an expert in mental health disorders or in anything really, although I am a doctor. I do know some stuff, but like obviously I'm not fucking perfect, so there we go. And I thought I had body dysmorphia, and then I was just looking into it. I was, researching on, what website was I on? The NHS website and Body Dysmorphic Disorder Foundation, BDD Foundation, and then I was looking at some papers in the Lancet. Wow, what a thrilling time for me. But I tell you what, very interesting time nonetheless. And today I'm going to be talking to you about body dysmorphic disorder. I feel like I end up putting these cute little jingles in there, maybe at inappropriate times, but alas, we're going for it. I hope you somewhat enjoyed my episode yesterday. It won't be yesterday for you, it'll be a couple of days, but it kind of went as a bit of a fugue to me. I think because I was like, I need to go to work, so I just like went through it and I was very much in my head, and I honestly can't remember fully what I said. I was like, what did I talk about? I remember some bits, but like not really all of it, and I don't often get that, so that was a really weird thing for me. So I might have some crazy shit, and who knows. Whoa, you'll just have to go listen to it. And that was literally my last episode about eating disorders, so yeah. But I remember I looked at the transcript and I was like, oh, I did talk about having body dysmorphia. So I thought, do you know what? Let's do an episode on that, and started Googling it and realised I don't think I have that. I think I just had an eating disorder. And today I think we should just talk about body dysmorphia in its own little right, okay? Because it's a separate thing, and I think a lot of people have it and don't realise. Because the thing is, you can obsess about something and it not necessarily cause you the same harm as an eating disorder does. The thing is with an eating disorder is it's really bloody dangerous. And the thing is, I don't want to say like, eating disorders are way more serious than body dysmorphia. No, they cause the same amount of stress. And the issue was, the thing is with eating disorders is, for me, it became like a competition. It was like, oh, they're more sick than me, so I need to be more sick. And I know that's like a really horrible place to be, and so I don't want it to be like body dysmorphia is way less dangerous. I don't actually know the statistics of like the dangerousness of it, but it's a disorder in itself, and it's very damaging for your mind. So that being said, let's get into it. By the way, you may not recognise this jumper, and that's because I've never worn it in a podcast before. I'm fully wrapped up today. I've got 2 pairs of trousers on. Do you remember like a few months ago, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be so cold soon. It's happened. The heater's on downstairs. We're only heating one room of the house now because money. And British Gas ripping us off. Oh, did I just say that? I'm in my sleeping bag. And anyway, this jumper, if you're not watching on the podcast, if you're not watching on YouTube, then that's really sad. I'll tell you what, I'll put it on my Instagram at dawnbarlow30 and I'll just do a little post for you now. As someone who worked in JD Sports as a teenager, I have a very strong relationship with Adidas Originals. You may not know the difference. Adidas Originals is this. It's like a kind of flowery cactus thing. Adidas Sport is something different. Ooh. Adidas Sport is the 3 blocks that go down and they're like form like a triangle kind of thing. Adidas Originals is fashion. Anyway, this is 2 tops merged together. Now, the issue is the arms are wool. They've shrunk. But because I've lost weight, I now fit in it better. It was getting a bit tight. So, there we go. Okay, let's start off with, that was a quick little segue. Absolutely not important whatsoever, but I love to just talk about myself, clearly. No, I just really like this jumper and I'm so glad I can wear it again. So, it's kind of dangerous though, because I can't wear white clothes and the middle of it is white, and because I drop food down myself. So you'll often see me, if I'm eating, I have a tissue down my top. It's like an adult bib. I need it, okay? It's like I have some kind of problem. Like, I don't know, I try and put the food in my mouth and it just goes everywhere. It's honestly like, it's outstanding. Like I should have an award in it. Anyway, body dysmorphia is a mental health condition. It can be diagnosed as a mental health condition. And I'm just going to read out the definition. Characterised by a persistent, intense focus, shame and anxiety over perceived defects in one's appearance. The preoccupation can significantly impact daily life. Now, I thought that I had this only because somebody mentioned it to me once. They were like, do you have body dysmorphic disorder? And I was like, I don't know. That was when I had my eating disorder. I don't think they realised that I was also starving myself and throwing up. So, but again, like I said, very, very secret. I wasn't like, hey guys, I have an eating disorder. And it's only now that I talk about it reluctantly as well. But I think that's what's important. You need to be honest about these things, don't you? And obviously now I'm going through my weight loss journey. I am very conscious of potentially developing disordered eating again. So I don't want to go there. I am very conscious of that. So I kind of want to be open about it and be like, losing weight is not without it. It's difficult losing weight, and then it's difficult losing weight when you've had an eating disorder in the past. So, okay. So basically, I thought I had body dysmorphic disorder, but there is a difference, okay? Let me read it out. I say okay way too much, and right. I know that I do it. I'm really sorry. If you listen to my podcast regularly, you'll probably notice. Or I'm sorry if you didn't notice that and now I've just pointed it out to you. I'm even more sorry because that's unfortunate because now you're going to notice. I also say anyway a lot, so sorry. Oh, I really wanted to say it then. Okay, so the main difference between eating disorders and body dysmorphia, I'm reading this off BDDF now, is someone with an eating disorder is worried about their body weight and shape, which can lead to behaviours, which lead to behaviours that are aimed at trying to lose or control weight. Now, the difference is you can have BDD with an eating disorder. They're not mutually exclusive. I think that's the right term. So the difference is when you have body dysmorphic disorder, you are focused on something, a part of your body that is not related to your weight, i.e. often facial features, i.e. your nose, your lip, your skin, or your hair or something like that, or your hairline, more common probably in men. There is also another kind of dysmorphia, and that is muscle dysmorphia. So you basically think you aren't very muscly, you think you're really small, and you actually are not, but you see yourself a lot more differently than other people see you. And you end up feeling crap about that. That is like the most layman's term definition of muscle dysmorphia ever. I wasn't reading that, as you can probably tell. So they often share a lot of symptoms, which is where the blurred lines come in. And I feel like that's why I kind of merged them together, thinking, oh yeah, I probably have both. Maybe I did, but I've never been like obsessed about, obviously when my skin was bad, but like now my skin is pretty good. I can't really complain. But my main concern was my legs. I didn't have a thigh gap. This was in thigh gap era. You get me? When thigh gaps were all the bloody rage. Like, everyone needed a thigh gap. I'm surprised they don't have thigh gap surgery. I'm sure they do. It's called liposuction, and I've thought about it, okay? I was obsessed with my thighs touching, and anybody who grew up in the noughties gets it, I'm sure, right? Thigh gaps were a massive thing, quite literally. No pun intended there. The snot is never ending, I'm telling you. Sorry, I tried to blow that off camera, but now my face looks so red. Okay, so the main thing that I thought I had body dysmorphic disorder for was because whenever I was a teenager, I would be obsessed with either finding a reflection to look in. So anytime I walked past a shop, I would look in it, or I would actively not look in it. Like, it was one way or the other, but mainly I was like, I would check and look in it, and I still do it now, significantly less. Like, it was like every fucking window you'd possibly imagine. Now I care significantly less. I don't know what happened, but I do think a lot of things are just getting older. Like, I don't want that to, belittle any kind of mental health progress I've made, or make it sound easy and just like, oh, you get older and your mental health problems disappear. No, they don't. But I guess it's time. It's time working on yourself, isn't it? So I think the difference with BDD and eating disorders is with BDD, you don't often restrict your eating or focus specifically on your weight or your shape. It's mainly about a particular feature. So it could be about your stomach, for example, but sometimes you might not. I think if you've got an eating disorder, if you've got BDD, just BDD, you don't really try and necessarily restrict food. I think that's what makes the difference between BDD and an eating disorder, is you don't try and control your weight or shape with like diet or exercise. It says here, such behaviour, e.g. looking in reflective surfaces or camouflaging your body, which I did as well. I literally showed you all of those pictures where I was skinny, I was very thin, well, not very thin for me. I was the thinnest I've ever been, and I was constantly hiding behind people because I was self-conscious. And I would wear I wear tracksuit bottoms now, but that's for comfort, not because I'm like trying to hide my body, but because they're fucking comfortable and I love them, and they're warm as well. I wear leggings a lot. But the problem is, I don't care about like showing off my cellulite and my curves, my curvy body. But the issue is, they're fucking thin. They're so thin. So I'm wearing leggings underneath my jogging bottoms, and I would take my jogging bottoms off later when I go to the gym, which I am doing because I haven't been in like for 4 weeks. Because I've been ill and away. Ill and away. It sounds like home and away, but the new version. I'm ill and away. That's literally what's been happening though. I'm still fucking snotty. Where's it all coming from? I'm surprised I just haven't, like, my mucus glands are in overdrive. They're like, pumping out some mucus. Oh, God. I'm probably burning like an extra 100 calories a day just producing all this mucus. Anyway, the reason why I particularly focus on BDD today is because the other day I went onto Photoshop, and I'm kind of enjoying Photoshop at the moment because if you go look at my Instagram, this is not a plug, this is like a genuine go fucking look at it, because I am loving colour correction. I never, and I hope to promise to never do this, knowingly anyway. Someone might do it to my pictures one day and I not know about it. I not know, and I won't know about it. But I have never altered my image on Photoshop. However, well, I have, but I have not posted it. And I did it the other day. Basically, Photoshop has this feature where you can alter literally every part of your body. It's like Facetune, but you can make your lips bigger, you can make your eyes bigger, you can pull them in, you can pull them out, you can do whatever you fucking want, and it does it all for you. You don't even need to like have any Photoshop skill, right? And it just does it with AI. It's kind of impressive, but also scary. Let me see, where the fuck is the picture? Anyway, my point is that it was the most damaging thing I've ever done. It made me feel so shit about myself, and I was like, what are you doing, Dawn? So now I just alter the colours. I love playing around with the colours, and I make collages on Photoshop. I'm literally like a child. And where the fuck is it? It was honestly like the craziest thing I've ever done on Photoshop. It was so extreme. No one's ever seen it, so this will be a real gander. I can't even remember what picture it was. I might just have to put it on my Instagram, and you'll have to go check it out, because I literally cannot find it, and I might just be sitting here for hours scrolling through. Where the fuck is it? I definitely did it though. Anyway, what happened was I made my chin sharper, I made my nose smaller and higher, I made my eyes bigger, basically all of the fucking beauty standards you could ever imagine. I just went full ham on them. Made my lips bigger, I think I changed their colour, I changed the eye colour, I pulled my hairline down. What else did I do? I did everything. Oh, and then I think I was trying to prove, I don't know who to, because I didn't even show anybody it. I was trying to prove, maybe to myself, that images online are heavily photoshopped, to the point of it being extremely damaging. Like, imagine if every day you're looking at pictures of either yourself or somebody else, heavily photoshopped, it's not real, you're looking at it and you're like, oh my god, they look like that, or I could look like that, but I don't in real life, and I don't know what's going on. Or somebody photoshops the image for you, and then you don't know that they've done it. Imagine you're an influencer and you don't know, your PR team or whatever have photoshopped your images without you knowing. I don't know if that happens, but I'm sure it fucking does. And you look at them and you're like, and that the reality of what you look at every day, you're then going to be like, oh my god, my skin isn't that smooth. Like, why was it smooth that day, but now it's not? I must be getting older. Or my nose isn't as small as, let's say, Kylie Jenner, or my lips aren't as big as Kylie Jenner. Like, my lips are so thin. They're so small. Like, why do my lips look like pieces of spaghetti? And guess what? Firstly, Photoshop. Secondly, fillers. And it's like we're getting constantly fed this perfection, this image of perfection. Everyone's cellulite has been airbrushed out. All the lighting is perfect so you can't see it. And I published a paper recently. I posted something on my Instagram recently that was like, you're not ugly, you've just taken pictures from a bad angle. Because there are two pictures that I've posted where I'm in exactly the same clothes, I'm in exactly the same physical location. The time is approximately 2 minutes apart. One, Tom took, my boyfriend, and I was like, Tom, that is such a bad angle. Like, take it at a better angle. And he took the second one, and I look completely fucking different because I don't have a double chin, and the angle is like up, and it's not like this, like down, and it's like pointing upwards, and it's just a completely different angle. And I was like, it just looks so different. But it is literally the only thing that's changed is I asked Tom to lift up his arms and take the picture from above rather than like down by his fucking like heels. I was like, what are you doing? You should know by now to take pictures from above. Like, nobody wants a little chin in their pictures. And that's kind of sometimes the problem with like professional photographers, is they take it like straight on or like a bit below, and you're like, because we got a professional picture taken when we were in London, like because we were at an event, and I sound so fucking famous. There was a professional photographer there, and we were on the red carpet, and it was basically like one of those graduation pictures where you're like, anyway, I was like, oh my god, my face looks so fat. It looks really round. And I was like focused on how round my face looked. And I was like, do you know what, Dawn? Fuck it. Who gives a shit about how round your face looks? Guess what? That's how you looked that day. It doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't. And I don't know why I looked so round in my face. Maybe it was the angles, but like, I'm looking at myself now in the camera and I'm like, my face doesn't look that round. So I was a bit confused about that. But like I said, I think it was, the pictures of that, by the way, are also on my Instagram if you want to go check that out. I genuinely think it's just like angles, and it's just how the picture is taken. And it's like, you know, when you take it, it always looks better. But when somebody else takes it, do you know what? I'm looking at it now and I'm like, I don't actually look that round. I don't know why I thought I looked really round when I first looked at it. I was obviously just feeling sad about something. I don't know. I'm torn. I am torn. I also think people take a wide angle picture and you are at the wide, they don't put you in the middle. So then you're at the side of the wide angle and you're like, oh my God, I look really horizontally large, and you're not really sure why. And I think some of that may, you know, some lens distortion. You can use the thing is, right, you can use lens distortion to make you look better. You can also to make you look slimmer and your legs look longer, but you can also use lens distortion to badly, as in people don't know how to use it, i.e. 60-year-olds who have a phone and they just go click and just take a picture, and then you end up being on the edge of the wide angle lens and you're like, oh great, I look horrendous. My nose is literally like Pinocchio. Anyway, what I'm saying is pictures, we are surrounded by them. Advertising, I mean, I'm kind of over it now because I look at myself so much. That sounds really fucking narcissistic, but like I'm looking at myself now. I can see myself in the camera. I have videos of myself and I look at them a lot because I'm editing my videos, right? So it's like when I first started editing my videos and stuff like that, I was like, ooh, and you hear your voice as well and you're like, gross, what is that? How can anybody listen to that for longer than 30 seconds? Like, it's honestly the worst thing in the world when you hear your voice for the first time out loud when it's not coming from you. I don't know why, it just sounds so different. But then you just get used to it. So it's like voice dysmorphia. You're like, ew, who the fuck is that? It can't be me. I can tell it's me, but WTF, I can't cope. So anyway, I also just want to quickly talk about, when I worked on pediatrics over COVID, right? I realised I didn't cover this yesterday and I thought it might be kind of pertinent or interesting. Maybe not pertinent, like you're not going to not get the story if I don't explain it. But it's just kind of an interesting story because I worked on pediatrics during COVID, and having had disordered eating in the past, I was kind of interested in that realm. So I was like supernumerary, so I was like an extra, right? So it was a teaching post, so I could kind of have flexibility about going to clinics and stuff. I wasn't just like used for work, which we call service provision, which is very common in doctor land because there's not enough doctors to like fulfill the workload, so they end up you don't get teaching, you end up just getting forced to do loads of work. But anyway, it sounds like I'm being like, ew, we have to work, but it's actually like, no, sometimes, yes, I get that we have to work and do jobs, but also you're in a teaching program and you should be getting teaching. And if you're just doing jobs, just writing prescriptions all day, you're not really learning like loads. So anyway, I got to spend some time in the eating disorder clinic over COVID. I actually looked this up because I was like, did we get more diagnoses of eating disorders, or like, because COVID set off a fire under anorexia's bum. It was like there were so many referrals, we couldn't see everybody. It was like, you know, there were loads of people coming in. I didn't see any boys, it was mainly girls, and they are often, no, actually, I won't say that. Anyway, I feel like I've started that now, I could finish. I mean, it's basically like they're often of a certain demographic, but that's not really relevant. So I saw a lot of eating disorder patients, and the thing that I was thinking was, why did COVID like bring in loads of new eating disorders? And actually it was just that they triggered, because of the anxiety and you're just sat at home all the time and you got, you know, anxiety about health and stuff like that. It actually just triggered loads of people's existing eating disorders. I don't think it necessarily gave people eating disorders. it just triggered loads of people who were like stable or who were like, you know, on the edge, and it triggered people into needing to, you know, getting to the point of needing to come into hospital, or people who had like recovered a bit anyway, they then relapsed. And I just thought that was really interesting, and we're not entirely sure why, but there was then a big resurge with people going back to school or lockdown ending. It actually got more, and it could have been because over COVID, the lockdown in particular, nobody sought help. Everyone was coming in really bloody sick or dead or not coming in at all. And then when lockdown started to ease, the floodgates opened. Everybody started to come in. So I think it was like people started to have like healthcare-seeking behaviours, which were appropriate and were not necessarily acted upon when COVID was going on, because people were scared and didn't want to bother the healthcare system, because that's kind of what they were told by the government. But I think the other thing we saw when lockdown ended was a big, and this was really horrible, was a big not big resurgence, but a big surge of people coming in with terminal cancer who had sat on it for a year, 2 years, and they'd had symptoms but just not wanted to come in, or too scared, or didn't want to bother the healthcare service, and then they came in like really fucking sick, like end stage, terminally ill, gonna die in the next few weeks, cancer. So that was really sad. So anyway, I don't know how I got there, but basically I am a bit concerned about the future of body dysmorphia, with the fact that we can literally Facetune our appearances online. There's even video Facetune now. I've never used it. I've never even used Facetune. Obviously I've used Photoshop. I've played around with it. Was it damaging? Yes. Don't do it, because you'll be like, why don't I look like that? And I've literally fucking altered the appearance of my face. Like, I've literally changed my skull shape. I cannot do, well, I probably can, but it would be very painful surgery and very expensive and very risky and very unnecessary facial reconstruction surgery. And I also can't make my brain smaller. I might be able to bring my forehead down. I don't really know. Anyway, I don't want to, all right? I don't need to, because my face is fine how it is. My body is fine how it is. And I think we're constantly fed this thought that we need to look a certain way, and we're also sold lies. Every fucking photo you see on advertising or any professionally, you know, whatever, mainly advertising, is edited. I'm telling you, it's edited. It is, because no one looks that perfect, or it's professionally shot, or the people who are, you know, they're models and they are like 12 years old, or they look 12, and they ain't gonna look like that forever, and that's not a problem. But it's like, that's facts. #facts. Oh no, I did it again. I did a hashtag. And but it's facts. Like, you can't get away from it. Guess what? I'm getting older, and that's the fucking story. Like, there's nothing I can do about that. So older is wiser. Anyway, I wanted to quickly finish on what do I do to not feel shit about myself. Number one, don't edit my pictures. Don't edit how I physically look, because I actually learned how to you can edit your body. Right, I learned how to do it, just to be like, oh, I could like edit it to be like, this is a photoshopped image, don't do this. But then I was like, no, I shouldn't use it, because even the act of doing that, editing your body smaller, is a mind fuck. Like, it fucked my mind. I was like feeling really sad about how I looked after, because then you can like flick between the before and after, and I was like, I don't like it, because do you know what, actually, I looked at the before and I was like, I look normal. But it was still, if you look at yourself, I had like edited it to the point of non-recognizability. Like, I was a different person. But I kind of purposely did that because I didn't want it to be like subtle to the point of, ooh, that's attainable. No, I did it OTT. So the one thing that I do is I try to look in the mirror and go, you look nice today. I don't necessarily say it out loud. Maybe I should. But I look at things and I go, ooh, I look kind of nice. I'm I'm dressed well, or skin's looking good, or just pick out one thing and just think, I'm not saying this is how you're going to cure your eating disorder or BDD, by the way. This is just what I do. If you have a genuine eating disorder or body dysmorphic disorder or a mental health disorder, of course, it's helpful to listen to podcasts like mine. Thank you. But don't use me as, don't think that I am your treatment. I just want to put that out there. I'm not selling a dream here. I'm being fucking honest. I'm no substitute for therapy. It's sad, but it's true. There we go. Because I don't want to lull people into the false sense of security that they can listen to a podcast and overcome all of their problems. Some people would have no ethics and they would be happy to make money off of that, but I'm not. So there we go. But one thing I do is I do try and focus on one positive thing every day. Even if it's like, wow, my fingernail is cut really well. Like, I cut that really well. This one's got like no white bits on it. Actually, they're looking pretty good at the moment. No white bits on most of them. So there we go. That's my positive thing for the day. But then I'm like, oh, I've got loads of dead skin around my fingers, which I didn't notice was a thing until I went and got my nails done and she cut all of it off. And I was like, oh my God. But then I'm like, who the fuck cares? That's what it comes down to, is it doesn't fucking matter. I shouldn't be swearing this much, but it doesn't. It doesn't matter. Dawn, it doesn't matter. Let it go, let it go. I've forgotten the rest. Okay, guys, I'm going to record another episode, then I've got to take my dogs to the vet, because health. Okay, if you liked it, please give it a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. I like to be pretty fucking honest. I hope you like that. Anyway, I upload every Monday and Thursdays, and give it a rating if you're loving it. Are you loving it, loving it, loving it? Are you loving it like that? Bye!